Hi everybody, Shanique Yates here with AfroTech. Today I am here with Ellie Diop. I am so excited to chat with you today here, Ellie. How are you?
I am so excited to be here as well. I am doing amazing. How are you, Shanique?
I'm great. Okay, so your story is phenomenal because you are helping so many mothers tackle financial literacy and just build generational wealth. So I want to start off with Mommy Millionaire. Tell me a little bit about that platform and what inspired you to launch it.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so glad that you asked. So, Mommy to Millionaire is my community and program, and what we believe over at Mommy Millionaire and our mission is that if we create wealthier mothers, then we can create wealthier families, and that creates wealthier communities. So, my goal is to help women and moms build seven-figure businesses and build a seven-figure net worth because when we look at the statistics, women and black mothers in specific have a net worth of around $1,700 or $1,800, which is frankly just not enough. And by the year 2053, if we don't start making radical change, the net worth of black women and black mothers is estimated to go down to $0 or less than $1. And that's a very, very real fact. So at Mommy Millionaire, we are working to change this by educating mothers on how they can start businesses, how to get funding for their business, how to hire their kids, how to build businesses with and for their children so that we can really make generational wealth not just a trend word, right? Because we've seen it as a trend word, but really make it an actionable goal that mothers and families can attain.
Absolutely. And you're helping so many families access generational wealth. Why is that a cause that is so important to you? What does generational wealth mean to Ellie?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you asked. It really started with me when I got divorced. And that's surprising, right? Because when we think of generational wealth, we think of families, we think of long, 50-year marriages. But generational wealth really took on a different meaning to me when, my first family, if you will, ended or took a different shape. I was in a difficult marriage for many years and I got divorced in 2020. And so in that process, I had to move back home to my mother's house. I had to start life completely over, no car, no job, nothing, in the corner of my mother's living room. And I was doing DoorDash, I was on social assistance. And it was really in that moment, kind of at the bottom, right, where I started to look at what can I do to make sure that this never happens to me, but also anyone in my family, namely my children, ever again. I think when we experience something that really changes our life in a significant way, it's hard in that moment, but for me, it was a big lesson. And so that's why generational wealth is so important because I want to make sure that no mother, no family ever has to go through that bottom breaking point again. Or if you go through it, you know exactly what to do to get out of it and ensure that your kids don't have to face that similar situation.
Yeah, and not only you said 2020, so like on top of that, we were in a whole pandemic or still are seeing the effects of a whole pandemic. So shout out to you for taking like what my nana says, like life's lemons and turning them into
And
lemonade.
turn it into lemonade. Yes, you have to do that sometime.
Absolutely. And is this something that has been new for you to learn, or did you have someone to guide you in terms of financial literacy?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So, before starting my business, I worked in corporate America in financial services. So, I worked for companies like American Express and startup companies as well. And we were focused specifically on helping families get life insurance. So, that's when I really understood how important financial literacy, insurance, money, business are to low income families specifically. But I thought I was just going to have my great job, forever. I didn't really think about starting a business until life, right? God always has plans for us that we don't know about. I got laid off, of course, got the divorce, had to start over. And in that time period, I applied to over 55 jobs, thinking, well, I was already director of sales for this company. I should be able to get another job in financial services without a problem. Girl, I just did not get anything. People didn't email me back. It was just rejection after rejection. And so it was really at that moment that I thought about, okay, maybe God is telling me that I need to take these skills, what I know about finance, what I know about, planning and business funding and all of that, and maybe I need to give it to people. Instead of looking for a job to pay me, maybe instead I need to package up this knowledge and share it with people who could actually use it right now in their life in this moment. So that's really how I got started, is I took what I already know how to, knew how to do, and just shifted my market, shifted my audience.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy that you brought up life insurance because what is the biggest misconception that you think our community specifically has when it comes to securing things like trust funds as well as life insurance?
That is such a good question. Life insurance, I think people don't believe that it's necessary, or they think that they can't afford it, right? So we've all seen when a family member passes away, or when you're driving down the street, you see someone with a sign up and they're doing a bake sale, or they're doing a fish fry, or they're doing a GoFundMe. We've become, that's become so normalized that we think, well, this must be how you pay for final expenses, or this just must be what happens when people pass away. But truly, we can do better, right? We can do better, we can plan better. What I want, and this is what we do with Mommy Millionaire, we've helped women secure over $100 million in life insurance so far, because it's so important for Black women, specifically, single mothers, to know that a life insurance policy can be anywhere from $30 to $80 a month, depending on how much you're looking for, your health, your age, and etc. And the sooner we get life insurance for ourselves, and the sooner we get life insurance for our children, it really does create a pattern of wealth in our families. Our counterparts, white families, they have been using life insurance to build wealth for generations and generations and generations. So we have to adapt that same structure and play the game the way that it has always been played. So that's also really connected to things like trust funds. Before I learned about it and before I set up my own trust fund, I thought you're just supposed to write a will or put it in someone's name and that's done. But actually, when we do that, it ends up going to probate court, and probate court ends up oftentimes taking the homes from our families. And, as Black people, we have to hold on to every bit of asset that we have. And you do not have to be wealthy to have a trust. In fact, having a trust is what makes you wealthy. So that's what we do with Mommy Millionaire also. We've helped over 80 women secure trust funds. And these are regular 9 to 5 women, but now they understand that if I want to build wealth, I have to have a vehicle that helps me to do that, and that is what trust funds do. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what has been like a pinch yourself moment in this journey so far? Like, what are you the most proud of?
Oh, what am I the most proud of? Woo, that's a hard one. Let me think, Shanique. I think there's a couple things, but one of the things I'm definitely the most proud of is I think having our first Mommy Millionaire graduation, actually, which was in November of 2022. We brought a few of the women who were actually able to come to North Carolina. We presented them with their trust fund certificates. They told us about how much life insurance they secured. And, it was just really powerful to see that by me stepping into what I was afraid to do, my business, now opened up the opportunity for me to help other women create actual legacy in their family. I think that that was definitely the biggest, pinch myself moment, because it showed the power of education. And it also showed the power of really having these financial literacy conversations in our community. So much of what we experience as Black women and the lack of net worth that we have isn't because we don't want to be wealthy. We all do. Most of the time, it's because we don't have the information. We don't have someone to guide us through. We don't have someone to really give us, here's the actual step by step, right? So that was really amazing. And I think my second pinch yourself moment was probably when I moved out of my mother's living room with me and my kids. I had put this apartment on my vision board, back when I got divorced, and I was like, this is where I want to live. I don't know how it's going to happen. This apartment is, $5,000 a month, but God willing. And when I got the keys, it was just like, Thank you, God. So those two for sure.
I love that. We love full circle moments. And what about on the opposite end? You've been helping so many people, but what is the biggest money lesson that you've personally learned thus far?
Ooh, yes, that's a good one. The biggest money lesson that I've learned is that watching your money in your bank account sitting there is actually not doing anything for you. I definitely was the type of person to be like, oh, as long as, check my account every day. Okay, let me just see these dollars stacking up. And I used to think that that's what having money or being wealthy meant. But I quickly realized the longer our money is just sitting in our account, it's actually losing value. It's not doing anything for us. And I didn't invest, right? I didn't know how to invest. It kind of scared me, but I took it upon myself after making my first seven figures to hire a financial advisor. Even with what I knew about money, I still went outside of myself and got someone to help me manage it. And that's when I realized money is valuable, not when it's sitting on your account, but when it is invested in something that allows it to make more money over time. So, with Mommy to Millionaire as well, when I learned that, I made sure that we have an investing class. And that's a huge part of what we do in the Mommy to Millionaire program is teach the women, here's how you can invest, even if it's $20 a day. That's going to go much further than the extra $20 just sitting in your account. So that's definitely been the biggest money lesson is money needs to appreciate and it does not appreciate in your bank account.
Yeah, that's a good tidbit. And lastly, you kind of mentioned with your vision board. I love vision boards and I'm like the queen of manifesting. So, lastly here, 5 years from now, where would you like to see Mommy Millionaire? Let's put it out into the
Put it
atmosphere.
out there. Let's put it out there. Wow. It's funny because I have definitely made Mommy to Millionaire vision boards. So in 5 years, Mommy Millionaire will have, I don't, I would call them hubs. It would have hubs and chapter locations around different cities in the US where mothers in that community can come and take classes. They can come and work on their business plan. They can come and write their resume. They can drop their kids off if they just need to be able to get things done. There's a daycare center. So there would be that. And also, we would have Mommy to Millionaire branded financial products. So Chase will have a Mommy to Millionaire card. Um, Fidelity will have a Mommy to Millionaire investment platform. There will be a Mommy to Millionaire app that will connect moms with other moms who want to build wealth. And it will also connect them with investors who can invest in their business. So, those are the few things that I see from Mommy to Millionaire in the next 4 to 5 years, God willing. From our mouth to God's ears.
Yes, you know what? And it's going to happen. This is great. I've learned so much in this short amount of time, and I'm just so grateful that you took the time out to chat with us here today. So thank you, Ellie.